Did you know you can make an emergency call without a SIM card? It's a fact that many people are unaware of, and it could potentially be a lifesaver. In the age of technology and smartphones, we often take our connectivity for granted, not realizing that there are certain features designed specifically for our safety. One of these is the ability to make an emergency call without needing a SIM card. This could be crucial in a dire situation where you're left with a phone without a SIM card. Understanding how this works can equip you with the knowledge to get help when you need it most. The relevance of this topic extends beyond just a fun fact. It's a practical piece of information that could prove to be incredibly useful. So, let's unravel the mystery together. Stay tuned as we delve into the process of making an emergency call without a SIM card. You might be wondering, how is it possible to make a call without a SIM card? It's a fair question, and the answer is more straightforward than you might think. When we think about making a call, we usually imagine our phone connecting to the network through a SIM card. This little chip serves as our unique identifier, allowing us to access the network and place calls. But here's the catch. While it's true that phones typically use a SIM card to connect to the network, they don't necessarily need one to dial emergency services. Yes, you heard that right. In an emergency, your phone can bypass the usual process and connect directly to the network. This capability is built into mobile phones as a safety feature. It means that even if you don't have a SIM card installed, or if your SIM card isn't working, you can still reach out for help in a crisis. How does this work? It's all about the network. When you dial an emergency number, your phone sends out a signal that any network tower in range can pick up. It doesn't matter which service provider operates the tower. It's designed to respond to emergency calls. This functionality is crucial because it means that you can make an emergency call even if your service provider has no coverage in your location. As long as there's a network tower within signal range, your call can go through. And the best part? This feature works anywhere in the world. Emergency numbers may vary from country to country, but the ability to dial them without a SIM card is universal. So, even without a SIM card, you can dial emergency numbers like 112. The next time you're in a bind, remember this life-saving feature. It's one of those things you hope you'll never have to use, but it's good to know it's there, just in case. Now that we know it's possible, let's discuss how to make an emergency call without a SIM card. It might seem like a complex process, but it's actually quite simple. First, you need to switch on your phone. Yes, even without a SIM card, your phone can still be turned on. The absence of a SIM card won't prohibit your phone from functioning. It just can't connect to a cellular network for regular calls or data. Once your phone is on, proceed to dial the emergency number. In most places around the world, this number is 112, but it's always good to know the specific number for your location. It's crucial to remember this number as it's your lifeline in emergencies. When you've dialed the number, press the call button. You don't need to worry about the absence of a signal. Your phone, in an attempt to make an emergency call, will try to connect to the nearest base station. That's right. Even without a SIM card, your phone will do its best to get you the help you need. After successfully making the call, explain your situation to the emergency operator. Be clear and concise, providing all the necessary information. It's important to stay calm and listen to the operator's instructions. Just a quick note, even if your phone is locked, you can still make an emergency call. Most phones have an emergency call feature on the lock screen. So if you're ever in a situation where you have to use someone else's locked phone to call for help, remember this tip. And what if your phone is damaged or malfunctioning? You might be surprised, but it's still possible to make an emergency call. Your phone is designed to prioritize emergency calls, so even in less than ideal conditions, it will try to connect you to help. And that's how you can reach out for help, even when your phone doesn't have a SIM card. It's not a situation anyone wants to find themselves in, but knowing how to handle it can make all the difference in the world. Curious about the technology behind this life-saving feature? Let's break it down. When you initiate an emergency call without a SIM card, your phone sends a particular signal to the network. This signal is distinct because it doesn't require SIM card authentication, meaning it doesn't need to verify your identity or be connected to a specific operator to work. This is a critical part of how emergency calls without a SIM card are possible. This signal is designed to be received by any base station within the network. For those who might not be familiar with the term, a base station is essentially a fixed point of communication for mobile phones, a kind of middleman between your phone and the wider network. These stations cover specific areas, creating a network that spans the entire country and even the globe. When your phone sends out this special emergency signal, it's like casting a wide net into the ocean of base stations. It doesn't matter which operator owns the base station, or even if the base station is in your usual network coverage area, the signal can be picked up by any station that receives it. Once a base station picks up your signal, it jumps into action. The station doesn't just receive the signal, it also directs it to where it needs to go. In this case, that's the emergency services. The base station effectively acts as a first responder, making sure your call gets to the right people no matter what. This is a simplified explanation, of course. The real process involves a lot more technical details and steps. But at its heart, this is how the system works. It's a system built on accessibility and universality, designed to ensure that anyone can reach out for help in an emergency, regardless of their phone's status or network coverage. And that brings us to the end of this scene. Remember, the purpose of this system isn't just to make calling easier. It's to save lives. It's a testament to the power of technology and how it can be used to help us when we need it most. This system ensures that your call gets directed to the emergency services no matter what. Making an emergency call without a SIM card is not just about dialing a number. There are other factors to consider. One such factor is understanding the security and privacy implications of these calls. You see, emergency calls can be tracked and recorded by authorities. This isn't an invasion of your privacy, but rather a necessary step to ensure that help arrives as swiftly as possible. The tracking allows emergency services to locate you, while the recording is useful for understanding the situation and improving services. It's a safety measure, not a surveillance tactic. Now let's talk about travel. If you're in a foreign country, it's crucial to know the local emergency number. While many countries use 112, it's not universal. So before you embark on your journey, take a moment to research and jot down the emergency number of your destination. It's a small step that could make a significant difference in an emergency. What about if your phone is locked or damaged? Well, most phones allow you to bypass the lock screen to make an emergency call. This is a feature designed to ensure that even in the worst of situations, you can still call for help. Similarly, if your phone is damaged, don't assume that it's useless. Many phones can still send that crucial emergency signal, even if the screen is cracked or the buttons don't work. It's important to remember that these features are there for your safety. They're designed to ensure that no matter what, you can reach out for help when you need it most. But remember, while you can make an emergency call without a SIM card, having a functioning one will always provide a more reliable connection. So, always keep your phone charged, know your emergency numbers, and remember that even without a SIM card, your phone is a potential lifeline. With this knowledge, you can be better prepared in case of an emergency. As we wrap up, let's quickly recap what we've learned today. We've discovered that it's entirely possible, and indeed crucial, to make an emergency call even without a SIM card in your phone. This capability is due to the fact that phones don't require a SIM card to connect to the network for emergency calls. They can directly connect to the network, allowing you to dial emergency numbers such as 112. The process is quite straightforward. Power up your phone, dial the emergency number, and convey your situation to the operator. Remember, even if there's no signal on your phone, it will attempt to connect to the nearest base station. The system works by sending a special signal to the network when you initiate an emergency call. This signal doesn't require SIM card authentication and isn't tied to any particular operator. Remember, being able to make an emergency call without a SIM card is a crucial piece of information that could save a life. Share this knowledge with family and friends so that they too know how to get help when they need it.